Hi everyone. In this video we are going to discuss while loop in Python. What is while loop is a looping structure that executes a set of statements repeatedly until a condition is satisfied or until a condition is evaluating to true. Already we have another looping structure in Python, that is for loop. For loop is actually a looping structure that executes a set of statements repeatedly for a fixed number of times, or corresponding to the set of values in a sequence, or set of values generated by a range function. So whenever you know that that loop will execute for a particular set of times or particular number of times, which is known in prior, the number of iterations is known in prior, then we can go for loop. But in some cases we cannot predict the number of iterations required to be executed by that loop. In such cases, we will say that until a condition is satisfied, that loop will execute repeatedly. In that cases, we can go for the while loop. The syntax for while loop is like this. There will be an iterating variable's initialization at the beginning, and after that, the while loop starts with the keyword while, then an expression, a logical expression that will evaluate to true or false. It's a conditional expression, and it is evaluating to true or false. And then if this condition is evaluating to true, then a set of statements, one or more statements, will be executed, and then the iterating variable will be updated for next iteration. To get the new value of iterating variable, the iterating variable will be updated, whether it will be incrementation or decrementation, or adding a new value with that existing current value of iterating variable. And until this condition is satisfied, this expression is satisfied, or it is evaluating true, this set of statements will be repeatedly executed. And what is this expression is, it's a logical expression, and it is formed by using the logical operators like greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to. So it will be true or false. Now, let us discuss a small example on while loop. Let me assume that we are going to write a small code or snippet in Python to display as first 10 natural numbers, to display the first 10 natural numbers. So to denote the first 10 natural numbers, let me take that an iterating variable I, and its initial value is 1 because the first natural number is 1. So this while loop will print first 10 natural numbers. This while loop will print first 10 natural numbers. So initial natural number, or the first natural number, is 1. So the iterating variable I is actually initialized with the first natural number. Then we can write a while loop. While is the keyword that denotes the while loop's beginning, right? And then there should be a logical expression, or there should be a condition. What is the condition? A condition that is written using logical operators. For example, I want to have, or I want to print the first 10 natural numbers. So first natural number is already available in I, and I want to print 10 up to 10. So what I can do is, until this I is less than or equal to 10. Until this I is less than or equal to 10, I can repeatedly printing the values of I. So initial value of I is 1, and until I is less than or equal to 10, or until I is becoming 10, I can print each and every value. So that is what the condition is. Now the loop header ends with a colon. So this colon denotes at the beginning of the block. So what's a block? A set of statements um, belong to a scope is called a block. And here this when you open a while loop, or when you start a while loop, all the statements that will be repeatedly execute until this condition is satisfied uh, forms a block. So in other programming languages, the set of opening and closing curly braces denotes the block, but here the colon denotes the block. After pressing colon, if you press enter, then the cursor moves to the next line and it's leaving a tab space, then it is placing its position. Now, what is the meaning of it is, it's called indentation. So indentation means it is the way how Python is differentiating a statement that belongs to a particular block and a statement which does not belong to a block. Suppose if a statement is no, starting one tab space after the header of that block. For example, here the header of the block while loop is actually this one, and the first statement starts after one tab space in the next line. So all the statements that starts from one tab space after this while loop's header are considered as the statement belong to that while loop. So that is what called as indentation. Python idle is supporting automatic indentation. That means auto indentation. By default it will leave the indentation for you if you are pressing the colon. Now in this while loop, what I am going to do is I am just going to print the current value of pi. That means first natural number is 1 and up to 10 I want to print the natural numbers. So once I print the current natural number, I want to go for next natural number. What first natural number is 1, that is already initialized to I and it is printed. To get the next natural number from the current natural number, what I want to do is I want to add 1 to the current natural number, because if initially 1, then to get the next natural number 2, I want to add 1 to 1. So 1 plus 1 2. Then to get the next natural number, add 1 to 2. Then you will get 3. So then to get next natural number from 3, 4. So in this way, actually every current natural number is added with the value 1 and you are getting the next natural number. So that is what called as iterating variable updation or iterating variable modification. So here the iterating variable I is modified in such a way that it is added with 1. So I equal to I plus 1. So now the iterating variable is modified, and these two are the statements belong to this while loop. If I press one more time enter, it will move the cursor to the same block only. But I want to come out of this block, I have to press the backspace. Now the auto indentation is actually escaped and it's coming out of that block. Now let us run the program. So let me give run module from run menu. So if I click OK, it's asking for a demo, sorry, file name. So while demo dot file, it's already there. So let me now you see it's printing first 10 natural numbers. It is printing first 10 natural numbers as we expected. Now in this juncture, let us discuss the variant of while loop. So while loop is usually executing a set of statements until this condition is satisfied. But at a point of time, this while loop, no, this expression will not satisfy, or expression will not, evaluate into true. In that case, the loop will terminate. That means at that point, the loop will be exited. But in the other programming languages, this is what the end of while loop. But in Python, we have a variant of while loop where when this condition is not satisfied, then there will be an else block. There can be an else block, optional else block, because in the previous programming sample we didn't use this else block, but it's an optional else block. If you want, you can use. So if the condition is not evaluating to true, then the set of statements within this optional else block will be executed. So at any point of time, this expression will not be satisfied, or it will evaluate to false. At that condition, the statements will be surely executed. The set of statements in the else block will be surely executed. And suppose if this while loop is not satisfying, or it's always satisfying its condition, this while loop's condition is always evaluating to true, then what it is called? It's called infinite loop. That means the unterminating or no non-stop loop. So it will keep on executing, but there is no use in that. It will keep on executing, and it will take full memory space of your computer. So that is what actually going to happen. So a condition that provided to a while loop should terminate the while loop. So in such a way that we have to provide the conditions. Right now, let us discuss the variant of while loop. That means optional else. So now in this case, we are providing an else block, optional else block, and else block starts with the keyword else, then ends with the colon as a while block. Then press enter, and it will move to the else block. Now else block is started, and you can give a statement. For example, print the condition or the loop terminator. I give a simple statement in it, right? And let me run the program. So run module, click OK. You see, it is printing first 10 natural numbers as expected, because for the first 10 iterations of this while loop, it will satisfy the condition. And for the 11th iteration, the condition will not be satisfied. In that case, uh, the else part is executed. So in this case, the only one statement is there in the else part, and that is executed. So it is printing the loop terminated. So this is while loop in Python, and so let us recollect. So while loop is a looping structure that executes a set of statements repeatedly until a condition is evaluating to true. And no, correct, no, against for loop is actually executing a set of statements for a fixed number of times. If you know the number of iterations in prior, then you can use the for loop. If you are not knowing the number of iterations in prior, then you can go for while loop. And while loop is having an iterating variable, and that iterating variable should be initialized at the beginning, and then the while header starts so with the keyword while, and there should be a logical expression, or otherwise called condition, which is an expression that is formed using logical operators like greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, equal to, not equal to, and it may be evaluating to true or false. If the condition is evaluating to true, or until this condition is evaluating to true, this set of statements will be repeatedly executed. And after that, in every iteration at the end, the iterating variable should be updated or modified to start the next iteration. Now we discussed the program, and after that we discussed the variant of while loop. That means we can have an optional else block in the while loop at the end. Suppose if at the point of time this condition is not evaluating to true, then the optional else block will be executed. I hope that you understood this concept of writing while loops, and in many cases we will write while loops, and refer Armstrong number program, or refer palindrome number program, which are made as two separate videos in our channel, and then you will understand the application of the while loop. Happy programming. Thank you.